The ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. Famous German painter Hans Hofmann. In life, simplicity is everything, which means we tend to overcomplicate things along the way. Whether we're trying to learn the piano or a new skill or a new anything, we tend to use all of this information to cloud our judgment. And that's exactly why in this week's episode of Master Talk, I'm going to give you 3 easy ways that you can use to improve your communication skills today. Hey everyone, Brenden here from Master Talk on your go-to channel to mastering your talk. And today we're covering those 3 easy tricks. So let's get into it. Number 1, master the art of mirroring. Picture this. You're in your bathroom, 7 a.m. in the morning, and you look at yourself in a mirror. There are 2 types of people who show up for that day. First type is excited. Man, I get to see my family. I get to have dinner with my friends. I get to do a couple of work meetings. This day's really incredible. And the second type of person shows up with negativity. I gotta talk to my mom. I gotta talk to my family. I gotta have dinner. Why do I have to do this? And those 2 people choose to show up in the way that they do. So going back to the mirror, we need to realize that the mirror you look at in the morning isn't just an object. It is the very thing that you are. Because as speakers, we are mirrors. We project our own emotions onto the people we speak to. So if we show up with happiness and excitement and enthusiasm, that is how our audience will perceive us. They'll go, wow, Brendan's really energetic. I should probably be happy right now. But if we show up with sorrow, disappointment, or boredom, like many speakers, that is how our audience will also perceive us. So my question for you is very simple. How will you show up with your emotions? Will you show up with boredom like most people? Or will you show up with kindness, reassurance, and positivity? And I'll leave that choice up to you. Number 2, master adapting your energy levels to the person you're speaking to. Here's an easy way to understand this. World-class speakers take personal responsibility to adapt their energy to the person they're speaking to. So a quick example of this is, let's say I'm talking to 6-year-old Sally. I'm not yelling at her. Versus an executive I might be working with, I'm not too quiet either. So it's all about changing the energy, acknowledging who we're speaking to and adapting accordingly. I'll give you another quick example. Whenever I guest on shows like podcasts, there are usually 2 types of guests. The first guest is a lot more extroverted. So whenever they see me on a Zoom call or in person, they're going, yeah, Brenden, it's great to see you. It's amazing. So they're yelling out of their lungs. So what do? I'm naturally an extrovert, so I tend to do the same thing. What's up? Great to meet you. And I'm really loud. But the opposite is also true. So let's say I'm talking to Paula. Paula might sound something like this. Hey, Brenden, really excited to see you. So then my response, instead of going, what's up, Paula? I would instead say, great, Paula, it's great to meet you as well. Is this your first podcast that you're doing? Yeah, I'm really interested in speaking to you, but yeah, it's my first podcast. So notice how I'm adapting to the person I'm speaking to. I'd say, perfect, Paul. Let's take it one question at a time. So notice how I'm taking personal responsibility to adapt myself. It's not about being fake. I always like to emphasize that. It's about having the empathy necessary to communicate your ideas to an individual so that they can hear it, so that it helps them, so that it serves them. So learn how to adapt your energy levels and always pay attention to how you're showing up for other people, and you'll be just fine. Number 3, practice speeches like a jigsaw puzzle. To keep things really simple here, public speaking practice is like jigsaw puzzles. You know those puzzles we used to as kids, those 1,000-piece puzzles kind of put together? If I asked you to work on this puzzle with me, which pieces would you start with first and why? Most of us tend to answer the edges, the corner pieces, because they're easier to find. You just open up the puzzle, you find the pieces that have that little edge, and then you do them first, and then you work your way into the middle. But we don't do that in public speaking, don't we? In public speaking, we start with the middle. We shove a bunch of content, we get to the presentation, and it sounds something like this. So, and then they ramble through the entire thing, and then at the end, thank you. We can do better than that. So the next time you practice public speaking, practice it like a jigsaw puzzle. Start with the edges first. Practice your introduction 50 times. Not 5 times, not 6 times. Do it 50 times. And it won't take you that long because an intro is probably 1 or 2 minutes. Do the same thing with the conclusion. What's a great movie with a terrible ending? Last time I checked, terrible movie. Same thing. 50 times the conclusion. In 2 or 3 hours of practice, you'll gain the momentum and communication that you never had before. You'll go, wow, I'm really good at this communication thing. I can probably tackle anything. And then you're off to the races. The ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. Hans Hofmann, despite being a German painter, had a fabulous take on simplicity because he's so right. If we just prioritize the right things and we practice them in the right order, we'll get better at anything that we do in life. And public speaking is definitely not an exception. So I hope these 3 tips have helped start your journey to master your communication skills and your talk. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of Master Talk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well so you can see more videos like this. And if you know one person who's struggling in public speaking or is looking for the shortcut, be sure to send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to mastering their talk. See you next time, everyone. Take care.